Hi guys, welcome back to Twisted Dice. We are back with another video. You've started me off. Right, compose. Hi guys, welcome back to Twisted Dice, and we are back with another tactics video for you today. And what have we got today, Darren?
We're going to be going through our top 5 Necron units.
Right, pop pickets. Okay, so this is going to be a really cool video, guys. We're looking forward to giving you our take on the top 5, but this is just our take. And if you would like to kind of share your thoughts on what you think the top 5 Necron units are, then please do share that down below in the comments. One, because it's really cool to hear your advice and your thoughts, but two, because we'll steal those ideas and use them in the next battle report. So it's very important that we find out. And thank you very much for joining us, guys. This obviously is Twisted Dice, and it would really help us if you could hit that subscribe button. We are fast approaching our 10,000 subscribers, and when we get there, we're going to celebrate. You know, we're going to let off fireworks and do loads of other cool stuff, and give stuff away, right, Darren?
That's it. And we've got some awesome little prizes coming up, or awesome little gifts coming up for the 10,000 giveaway.
Yeah.
So someone or some people are going to walk away very, very happy when we hit 10,000 subs.
We are. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be big. So get involved now. And if you want all the other details, all the other cool stuff we do, all the details are down below in the description. You can become a very cool patron, and it is an awesome place to hang out in our Discord server dedicated to our patrons, and talk about all things 40k and just have a generally good time. So those guys are mega bosses. They keep the lights going and keep us working in this amazing studio. So thank you very much. If you want to become part of that, all the details are down below. But that's enough of us wittering. Let's talk about Necrons. So you've had quite a bit of experience playing against the Metal Silver Boys.
Yes, the little tin heads.
The old tin heads, but they're a very, very cool army, and they've changed dramatically from 8th edition to 9th edition. Most of the builds that worked in 8th edition no longer work. They've got some very cool new units, so we put together what we think are our top 5. So let's kick off at number 5, and we're going to start off with the bread and butter basics. We're going to start off with El Humble
Necron Warriors.
Necron Warriors. So Necron Warriors, they were overlooked a little bit in the last edition for Immortals, but now very much they are coming full circle. They are a nice, relatively cheap unit that is actually super resilient. Why is it resilient, Darren?
One, they've got that ability to, as soon as that unit stops shooting them, they've got that ability to get back up. That is massive. Nothing more annoying than a bunch of Necrons getting back off the ground after they've been shot at. Now, of course, in 8th, they had that, in the 8th edition, they had that ability. Once, you know, the unit has died that round, next round they had that chance to get back up. Of course, unfortunately, the Necrons have been hit with the nerfs back a little bit on that side, where unfortunately once they're down on the ground, you don't get them up the first time, they're not getting back up again, which is a shame. But
it is, but the beauty of it is now they can do that absolutely every time they're shot at. So what it means is having a single wound model is super strong, because a unit shoots at you, you get to do it at the end of that unit shooting at you, see if any of them get up, and then happy days, and then you can rinse and repeat that. So actually, yes, you know, it's the same. You're not going to be able to necessarily, you know, keep them coming back, turn in, turn out. But no, what you will get the opportunity is you'll get lots of opportunity to bring up the little guys throughout a shooting phase, and they can become extremely frustrating. They've got some cool weapons, and you know, generally sticking when we're talking about 9th edition and we're talking about, you know, how to be successful, to have a big block of Necron Warriors sitting in the middle of a table, you know, sitting in, I mean, look, they've got a 4-up save, so they go to a 3-up save in cover. You know, you've got plenty of these guys just sitting there being buffed by all the characters. They're going to be a real pain to cover, right?
yeah, and they're not expensive. What, 13 points a model?
It's not bad if you think what they give you. So they've got a ballistic skill of 3+, and their gun's okay. You know, it's not too bad. You know, you can either have the Gorse Flayers, which are rapid fire 1, 24-inch. They give you the longer range. They have got -1 AP, or you can have the Gus Reapers, and they're assault 2.
Yeah, so they're a lot closer range. So you know they're more for when the enemy are going to be right up in your face. Myself personally, I think I'd go for the flayers because they're rapid fire, so they're going to have the 2 shots apiece, and I think that's where you want to be at because like the other ones, you know, yes, they're assault 2, but you know, apart from the extra minus, or to be fair, they're actually minus
2. They are
minus
and
2.
they are strength 5.
They're strength 5, so.
But it's the close range, isn't it? I think, you know, 24 inches is a perfect range. You know, you can advance this guy forward, take them in the middle of the board. You've got quite a lot of them, so you've got a good, reliable amount of shots. You've got ways of buffing them to give them a rerolls.
That's it.
You know, so they're a super, super strong unit. They're one of the very few units, and unlike the Space Marine book, there's not that many core units within Necrons. This is one of them that's a core unit, so it's a nice, strong staple. You can have lots of these guys. They can sit in the middle and just raw called nuisance. So pretty boring, pretty basic, but absolutely one of the strongest units, and definitely I think something you want to be looking at taking for Necrons. So let's go into number 2.
4
or 2, yeah, number 4. Number 4.
Unit number 4.
The unit number 4. Okay, so this one we've gone for is the Death Marks. So Death Marks. Really cool, right? Darren, tell me about Death Marks.
Now, Death Marks, if you're not aware of this, where have you been hiding? It's time to come out of that rock and then come to the lights.
Come out of the rock?
Come out of the rock. No,
not
we
from
don't.
Under the rock.
No.
They're actually in the rock.
They're in the rock. That's where the line is at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Christmas
that's true.
time, we're going to be seeing them. So, what makes the Death Marks so cool? So, for the first reason is the fact they've got the sniper rule. So, they've got the ability to pop off characters, ignoring that lookout, sir. That is strong. So if you've got psychers or something that's causing you a nuisance, they've got that ability to pop them off. The second ability, you can have them up in deep strike. So at some point you can bring them in, deep strike them in to take advantage of the terrain. If you see an opening, get them in there and pop off characters. That can be massive. That can be game changing upon your enemy. And of course, now we're coming away from that hero hour from 8th, where you know it used to be consisting of a lot of heroes on the tabletop. Now, with especially Space Marines, limited down normally to about 2-3 characters.
Yeah.
You know, these have that better ability of getting in where they need to be and popping off those characters. Plus, of course, 6s, they cause mortal wounds. Now, that's not what makes these guys makes them good. The fact that they've got the 36-inch range, the fact they've strength 5, -2, 1 damage.
-2 is huge.
That is huge, but that's not what makes them good. I'll tell you what makes them good. They've got a keyword which is the hyperspace hunters. Now, what makes these good is this: for a CP, if your enemy decides they're going to deep strike a unit onto the tabletop. Now, what they have the ability of doing is coming in behind them. So as soon as your enemy has deployed them, you spend the CP, you bring them out of hyperspace, and you basically drop them 9 inches away from your enemy. And what makes them so good is they get to shoot before your enemy gets to react. So it's kind of that cool ability of popping off some of your enemy units before they get to do anything. And that's really, really cool. Now, there's another unit we want to mention as well on this, which is the poor man's version of the Kilomorph.
Yeah.
Now, the Kilomorph is probably one of my favorites.
He's amazing.
You know, he's an absolutely friggin' awesome little character. Now, I've kind of gone past him, but is it Hexomaster?
Yeah, that's it.
Now, the Hexomaster is pretty much the same as a Kilomorph. The only difference is he also has that hyperspace hunter keyword.
Yep,
if I said that right.
Yeah, you did.
So again, he's got 6 shots. Every time he makes a successful hit, he can also then shoot again with those pistols. So same as like the Kilomorph. The only difference is between this bad boy, it is strength 6, it is -1, but he only does 1 damage.
Yeah, he can't target characters the Kilomorph can.
That's it. So the Kilomorph is a much better unit than
him.
him.
Occult, right? So
yeah, but the only benefit with this fella over the Kilomorph, he is strength 5, toughness 5, as the Kilomorph is only toughness 3.
Yeah.
So the Kilomorph is weaker
in
armor, but he has got that ability of doing 2 damage apiece, so he makes it a lot stronger unit to go for. However, for the Necrons, that could be massive, because if you've got a unit coming in behind you, you have that choice. If you've got, let's say for argument's sake, you take both of these units into your army, that gives you the option of either bringing him in or bringing in the death marks, depending on what takes your fancy. Myself, I would go with the death marks. I think they're going to be a lot stronger unit, and of course I believe you can have up to a squad of 10. That could be really painful.
Yeah, I mean that's it. You know, if you got a unit of 10, they are -2. They're hitting on 2s. Like, you know, you're going to kill a Primaris, you know, model with that. Your Primaris character.
Yes.
Quite comfortably with the long range as well. You know, you're going to be able to drop in. You're going to be absolutely able to smoke like a librarian or a chaplain without too much trouble. The -2 is really difficult for anyone to deal with, so they're going to do a lot of work. So obviously it's quite an investment of points to go for a big unit of 10, but actually that's super frightening. And actually the psychological games that you can play with that unit is huge. You know, if I say to you, Darren, I've got this big unit of 10 that can target your characters, and it can come in after you deep strike something.
No, the question was
going to mess with your head.
So the gamey side of you, like if you're doing a tournament, would you mention it?
Yes, because I would use it as a tool and a way to put me in control. Because I'm going, oh, don't want to do that. Do you want to do that? Oh, I don't know about that.
Don't know if you want to do that.
Don't know if you want to do that. So yeah, so they sit comfortably in our number 4 position. So let's move into our number 3, and this one, he's the powerhouse, Darren. This lad has not been skipping out on leg or arm day.
No.
He is one of the shards,
which is the Knightbringer.
That's correct. Now, is he heavy? Is he heavy?
He's got his own little profile. If you keep going forward, keep going. Now, he only has 9 wounds, but he can be targeted.
Don't matter about that. Because he also is limited to only 3 wounds a turn, right?
That's
3
correct.
wounds a phase.
That's correct. Now, what makes this unit so damn powerful is the fact that he can take out pretty much anyone on the battlefield. You do not get invulnerable saves against this fella. If he comes knocking like death, he's going to take you away. He can really kick your butt. Now, if you face him against Ghazghkull, unfortunately, Ghazghkull is definitely going to be coming home with his head in the basket, because he can definitely take out. Now, what makes this guy so powerful is the fact that his staff itself, when he makes that attack, any damage he causes will go through. So, for instance, Ghazghkull has another special rule where you can only take 4 wounds a turn. This little fella, forget about that, Gaz. Yeah. You think you're going to sit back and rely upon that? He's taking your head, and he will put Ghazghkull into the ground if he gets to go first. Now, the only downside upon this, if Ghazghkull gets to go first, he unfortunately can only take off 3 wounds. Now, the only thing that can kill the Knightbringer off in 1 turn is another Knightbringer.
Yeah.
The chance of you going to be seeing that duel off is going to be pretty slim.
Yeah. So it's a rule called Drain Life, and it sounds pretty scary just in itself. So each time this model makes a melee attack that is allocated to an enemy model, that enemy model can't use any rules to ignore the wounds lost.
So the best way of thinking of him is like this. Think Harry Potter. Think on the Deathly Hallows, is it?
Yeah.
I'm not really Harry Potter, man.
No, I'm not
but
really either.
If you just think about the ghouls in there, and as he's there, and he's like sucking the life force out of you, and that's pretty much what he does.
So he hits like an absolute ton of bricks. He's very, very resilient, and he is going to scare anything that depends on an invulnerable save.
And of course, he has got a new rule that the Cetans didn't have before. They have got living metal.
Yeah.
Which means if you can't get him down in the 3 phases, he is going to be healing himself back up, which makes him even more of a pain in the bottom to get, off the tabletop.
And then he's got powers of the Catan as well.
Oh, yeah. And
which are amazing.
They are friggin' awesome. Now, we're not going to go through all those powers today, but it is definitely one worth to, to look upon, because he can cause so much havoc. And I'll face this fella,
he's worth the points, right? Every day of the week.
Yeah, I'll face it. I haven't used him myself yet because I don't have the model, but the times I have used him, man, he has been an absolute friggin' beast and a pain in my bottom.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so definitely one worth taking. If you're seeing him across the table, be scared, because this guy can deliver quite a knockout punch. So moving on to our number 2 spot. And that is going to go to maybe a little bit of a hidden gem. this guy. So this is, his name is Nemosaurs and he's one of the old guard, so he's been around a while. He's one of the Necron special characters, but he has got some absolutely devastating special rules. So yes, he's kind of a lord, so he's got quality profile, so weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, strength 6, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 2 up save, Darren.
That's good.
Which is it's not too bad, right?
Skinny old Necron board in Terminator armour.
Yeah, not too bad at all.
Shaking his little wiggly stick at you and saying, haha, Marines, try to get through this armour.
And he's got a 4-up in one.
That's strong. So there's a 50-50 chance of he's going to survive.
Just shrugging off. He's obviously a character as well, so it's hard to get him. But one of the pretty much the biggest reason why he made our list is because of one rule. So, you just think of Vect, think of the Four-Armed Emperor as well. These are two of the only ways in the game that you can turn off a stratagem, and we all know how important stratagems are in the game. They can make or break. Well, this guy doesn't have to spend any of your precious CPs. He's got just a once a game ability, and actually in this new world, how many times you can use Vect in the game? Once. How many times are you going to use the Gene Stealer Occult one again? Probably once. Maximum.
No.
You can use it more. Gene Stealer Occult one you can use more.
Yeah.
But you're not going to very often.
Because it's expensive. It's like 3 CP.
It's 3 CP, yeah. But Nemosaurs is once per battle, no CPs cost. When your opponent declares they will use a stratagem during the battle round, but before any command points are spent, this model can engage its counter tactics.
And this is how it goes. One meddly finger comes out and goes,
No. If it does, your opponent can't use the stratagem this battle round.
You can imagine the old Orc boys just being down to one dude, like, yeah, we got one boy survived, ready?
No.
Green tide.
No.
And you have that little Orc boy going, oh, good. Hey, boss, I'm coming back, boss. Kicking the dead body like, come on, get up, boys. These metal boys can, these tin cans, why can't we?
Yeah. Absolutely. So look, that is absolutely game winning. That is game winning to have that in your back pocket,
and just stashed away.
And that is one that maybe you don't tell in a competitive environment.
Nah.
You just kind of go, oh, and no, you don't.
For an Orc player, that would absolutely kick me in the
could you imagine? Could you imagine? You're like, I got one left, and they, no, you don't.
That is like the ultimate red card.
It is, and that is so strong. It is ridiculous. So that in itself is strong enough. He's also got My Will Be Done, which is great. So he's basically like an overlord as well. He's got Relentless March, so you can add 1 to your movement phase. For warriors and the like. So he's good. You said he's got 4-up invuln. He's also got an ability to give buffs to units as well. Just an all-round great unit. For the points he costs, I think he's, obviously he is pinned down to Sotek, and so that'll be depending on whether you can fit in a Sotek detachment or whether that's what you're going for. But wow, just an absolute all-star, and he sits very much in our number 2 slot. So before we go on to number 1, I know you're all waiting. You can't wait. Can't wait right now. Can you wait? I can't wait.
This is exciting.
It is exciting, right? But we thought we would give some honourable mentions, as we like to do, because there are, again, as in the Space Marine book that we've covered in a previous video, there are so many cool new units for Necrons. Very much is not a one build army. There's loads you can do in there. We're really looking forward to hear your thoughts. So our notable entries, Scarabs.
Scarabs are really good. The fact that they're small, close to the actual ground itself, so they're going to be very hard to targetable. You've got that ability to then move them across the tabletop 10 inches. The fact that they are so low down to the ground means they're going to be so hard to target. You can hide pretty much behind most terrain. That is massive. And of course, Scarabs are cheap, they're effective, they're all about holding objectives, and if you get close, they've got that ability to strip some of the armor off.
Yeah, they're great. As I said, they can wound kind of anything. So they're actually, the amount of attacks they get, they can actually do okay. A nice, cheap and cheerful unit that will actually be really useful in a Necron army. So it definitely sits in that honourable mention. And in a game which is all about holding objectives, as you said, that's key.
That's it.
We also wanted to quickly mention the Triarch Stalker. because it just synergizes so well with so many other units, right?
I think, yeah, because he will work well in pretty much all armies. The fact that it gives that ability to reroll ones if it successfully hits something.
But it will hit, because the chances are it's going to get a hit, right? It doesn't need to wound it. It's good.
No, it just needs to hit. Just needs to hit, and that to have that reroll ones is pretty massive. So,
Spider Boy.
Let's put it into an example of, you're going into an Executioner Repulsor. Toughness 8, it's going to be difficult already. You need all the hits you can possibly get into it to do what it needs to do. And of course, if you can get that in, boom, brilliant.
Yeah, and its weapon's good anyway, so its heat ray is pretty solid. I mean, it has a focus profile of 24 inches, heavy 2, strength 8, -4, d6 damage, which in itself is pretty good, and it's got a better profile if it's close by. So, it's got kind of a melter lance almost in it as well. It's a solid unit. It's pretty tough. It's gonna do all right. It's got living metal again. It's got command protocols. It's a really good unit, so definitely got an honourable mention. It almost made it into our top 5. And then the last one we wanted to briefly touch on, Illuminor Zardrek. Zedra? We can't pronounce. We're between me and Darren. We're terrible with names.
I really think that Games Workshop.
Illuminor.
I think Games Workshop get a little bag of the alphabet in it, give it a little shake up, and go. And the first letter is gonna be.
Yeah.
No, it's countdown.
It is countdown. But he is a very, very, very cool unit. He has again got the ability to buff units really, really well. He's actually pretty damn good in combat. He's got quite a few attacks because he's got legs 11. He's got a very, very cool lance shooting ability, which can do a lot of work. It's assault D3, which is cool, 36 inches, which is strong. And look, he's an amazing model. He's damn cool. So he definitely got an honourable mention. But we've saved the best to last, right?
And of course, if you haven't guessed it already,
at number 1,
number 1.
Noisy King.
This is the king that's been sat upon his throne for a while. That's been very, very silent with his silent, salty tears. He is back to the realm of the living, taking it out with his little jukeboxes.
Yep, so the Silent King comes in at our number 1, and this again hopefully will bring in a bit of debate from you guys. Hopefully we've pulled a few levers and we've pushed a few buttons. He's expensive.
Rocking at 350 points at the moment. If you're watching this after any FAQ or chapter approved, I do apologise, but it is 350 points at the moment. And of course, he does come with his 2 friggin' big boom boxes, which definitely doesn't make him the Silent King, but it does make him now the Loud King.
He's got a bit of drum and bass on there.
Oh mate, he is proper rocking that hard. Yeah. Again, he's got the living metal. Those jukeboxes have got the living metal. You can't target the Silent King until those jukeboxes have been destroyed. Now, of course, they're not called the jukeboxes. They've got some funky name, which I'm not going to even try to pronounce. So coming in with his big old jukeboxes, the Annihilator beams. I've got a 36-inch range, strength 12, -4, flat 6 damage. Wow. If that ain't going to be sorting out some of the biggest things on the board, I don't know what will. And the fact that you got 2 of those is an absolute friggin' beast.
They hit on 2s, Darren.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, because he's using the Silent King's profile. So the Silent King is there and he's raising his arms up and he's like this. Boom.
I mean, that's grim. That is pretty grim. I mean, that's killing, between the 2 of them, that's killing a lot of Tyranid monsters like that. It's turning over vehicles and tanks like that. That flat 6 damage is absolutely brutal. That's pretty scary. It's a scary profile.
It's going to be pretty much hitting most things on 3s.
Wounding most things on 3s.
Most threes, and then wounding. Actually, majority of stuff is going to be wounding on 2s.
Yeah.
But like any of the big stuff is going to be wounding them on 3s, and that's massive. Unless, of course, someone puts transhuman physiology.
Yeah.
I think they'd be wasting it on that, but never mind. It is what it is.
Scary though, really, really scary.
But this is where it doesn't stop.
It's got so much.
As soon as this bad boy comes closer, of course, we're missing out one thing. He's got 16 wounds on his own. But as I said before, you've got to destroy the 2 beat boxes either side of it. Now they have got 5 wounds apiece. So that is 10 wounds.
You've got 10 wounds to get through even before you can even touch him.
That's massive. That is like really massive. So 26 wound model. That is very, very strong. Now, of course, with the Silent King itself, he doesn't come on his own. On his little golden throne, he also has 2 of his little buddies that are sitting beside him. So shooting wise from them itself, so you've got the Scepter of the Eternal Glory, which is a 24-inch range, 3 shots, strength 8, -3, 2 damage.
It's nasty.
Which is pretty good. So the beatbox didn't get you. You know, these
His little buddy will.
Yeah, these are just going to clear up afterwards. And then you've got the Star for Stars. Again, Assault 9, Strength 6, -2, 1 damage. And then the last one is the Scepter of Eternal Glory, which is... Oh, no, I missed one. Do apologise. No, it's just those 2. It's just those 2. So, yeah, I kind of got that a little bit wrong, so do apologise. So just 3 weapon profiles, which is pretty good. I guess the Silent King doesn't need anything to shoot. He's just got his beatboxes.
Absolutely. He's going to buff you in combat as well.
Absolutely spot on. And then going into close combat. So straight away the Silent King will have 6 attacks from full strength, which is pretty powerful. So again, once you've cleared off the 10 wounds of the actual beatboxes, you've then got to get him down to 5 wounds. Between 5 and 8 wounds, we'll drop him down to 4 attacks. And then 1 to 4 will bring him down to 2 wounds. They do, like I say, he does have living metal, so he can start healing back up, which is strong. So with those, they are 2 attacks plus. You've then got different profiles on the weapon. So you've got the main Scepter of the Eternal Glory, which is off the Silent King. So for him, is off the first profile, so 6, 4, then 2, and then his 2 little buddies come in. So his staff, first of all, is +4 strength. So he's strength 5 +4, so that becomes strength 9. -3, 2 damage, which is pretty damn good. So anything coming up close combat, he's going to be pretty much putting them down. You ain't going to want to be hitting him because again, he's hitting on 2s in combat. Yeah, it's good. So that is really, really good. And then one of his buddies, the Scythe of Dust, which is +3 strength, -4, flat 3 damage. So this is additional 4 attacks on top of the Tomb King, the Silent King. So you do the Silent King first, then you do his little buddy with the 4 additional attacks. And then on top of that, you've got the Staff of Stars, which again, you make 3 additional attacks with this weapon, which is -2, 1 damage. So it's kind of like the weapon that kind of finishes off and puts the final little nail in the coffin. He's got loads of weapons. He's got, I mean, the thing is, like, we could do probably a video on the Silent King alone. He's got so many kind of like rules and bits and pieces. But what he does is he very much will just deliver some knockout blows. He's somebody that can just absolutely soak up the attacks. So, what he allows your rest of your army to do is go and fulfill its needs. It can go and take objectives, it can go and kill like things it needs to. It can get wherever it needs to, because basically the Silent King's going to sit there, he's going to put out quality attacks. Yes. And he's just going to like buzz around and do his thing and just soak it all in, because you're really going to struggle to kill him. It's hard. His resilience is just pretty solid. It's going to take a while to get through him, and that can quite often be a game-winning thing. So he very much sits at number 1. As I said, we think that would probably be potentially a bit what's the word? Controversial. we think potentially it'd be fairly controversial, because I know that some people won't really rate him, but we think with him in your list will put you in a great position. And what you're going to do when you've got that guy in there, you've got to do something with him, because otherwise he's just going to pling off your key units. Because what he can do is, if you've got something big and nasty in your army, it's just killing it. If you don't deal with him, he will definitely deal with you, and that's no shadow of a doubt. Yeah. With an 8-inch move, he's going to get to you quite quickly. With a smaller board, this is now his domain. He's not slow. He's got great weapons, a great profile, lots of buffing ability. He just sits really awesomely as a centerpiece in your army, and definitely, I think, values his position at number 1 of our top Necron units in 9th edition. So hopefully, guys, you've enjoyed this video. Again, please do put your top 5 units in the comments below. We'll be really interested to hear your thoughts, and we will steal them. But again, thank you very much for watching, guys. That'll be me, Aceface, and Darren, and we'll see you soon. Catch you later. Bye for now.